Hello there, and thanks for coming out to StansteadCollege's own TEDx event. What a wonderful day, what a wonderful event. I'll be honest, we're pretty nervous, pretty anxious, and obviously happy to be here. It took us some time to determine what we wanted to talk about. We knew we wanted to do the event, and the reality is we wondered, who are we to think that we can crack any codes? And but after some careful deliberation and looking back on the year that we had, trying the tumultuous year that we've all had under this pandemic, we thought about maybe telling a story about how a father, me, helped his son, Hayden, achieve his goals and become a little bit more independent with each and every day. So what follows is just a glimpse into our year, and we hope that maybe we offer a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of hope, and some energy as we all push our way out of this pandemic.
That is right. On cracking the code and growing up is such a tall order. Our idea to do this talk came out of an intense, long discussion me and him had. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It got heated sometimes. We actually had to sometimes separate, reflect, sleep on it, and come back. Dad was stressing and saying, hey, you have to make a choice. Get out of your comfort zone. If the ones who know him well knows he likes to keep it simple. It's that simple, I guess. The ones who know him well knows he likes to keep things simple. And I remember the day when we were having this talk, he said, Hayden, and this is the same action and everything. He said, Hayden, it's time to stop talking and start walking. And I was like, Dad, what are you talking about? How does this refer to anything that we're discussing? And then it clicked. I reflected and said, he is right. I have to make a decision. So I decided to go for it.
So before we get into it, a little bit about us as a family. I love acronyms, I love little slogans, I love sayings, anybody that knows me. And for me, family means forget about me, I love you. And really it just means that we serve ourselves by serving each other. And as a family, by design, we like to live under the radar. We like to be kind of humble, obviously hardworking and honest, and stay out of the limelight. We truly believe that we're unremarkable people, just living our lives each day. And I don't mean it in a bad way. In fact, we embrace it. We embrace this mindset. We just strive to get a little bit better every day, and do a little bit of good for whatever community we belong to. And so that's a little bit about us.
Passion. So hockey provides a platform for us as a family to get a little better every day. I have the benefit of having an older sister who captained here on the varsity girls hockey team when she was here, went to Division I, and is now going to law school this upcoming year. I also have an older brother who is currently playing junior hockey and just won Scholastic Player of the Year. And on top of that, I have a cousin. He won 2 national championships at the junior level, went to Northeastern, and finished his hockey career playing pro. At times, it's awesome to have these guys as role models ahead of me, but it's also a little intimidating. Will they fill the expectations that are ahead of me? Having a family to look up to is also inspiring, but a little overwhelming.
So those of you that are coached by me and been around me know that I love to study human performance and leadership. And a group that I follow, the What Drives Winning group, took a year to work with my favorite college basketball team, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Go Zags! And one of the key concepts that Gonzaga uses is called feed the bamboo. And in simple terms, it just means being a better version of yourself each and every day. Feeding the bamboo, I don't know if you know this, but the bamboo is the most resilient plant in the world. It takes about 90 days to root, but once it does, it requires very little water and sunlight. I really like this concept as a father and as parents, because my wife and I, Shannon, try to do the same. We try to instill good values in our kids, and then walk the walk by setting a good example each and every day on how to live. We don't like to interfere with our kids' decisions and the actions that they take to pursue the goals and dreams they aspire for themselves. But clearly, once in a while, as parents, they need a little sun and a little water as well. Last April represented one of these times with Hayden. Some of the parts that he's missing to tell you is that the first week of the pandemic, he was pretty down. He was pretty low. He was spending more time in his bedroom than I'd ever seen him before, playing more video games than I'd ever seen before. And so it was time for Shannon and I to roll our sleeves up and get the kitchen table going, get kitchen table chats going a little bit, and find out if we could help Hayden build a better version or a better vision for himself in the future.
So to draw inspiration, like all of us do, I look at some iconic figures in the sports world. Whether it's because they come from humble beginnings, got cut from their high school team, or rebounded off serious injuries, Michael Jordan, Hayden Wickenheiser, and Tom Brady have all failed and got back up. And my dad has a couple of stories of players he's coached who've gone through the same thing.
Yeah, this is a slide that we had taken out, but it's a great slide. It just kind of, I think, feeds part of the subject. It shows some of my library: Mindset, the Gold Mine Effect, Leading with the Heart, Duckworth's Great, Cohen's Talent Code. I've just become an avid student of human performance. We can read and research and get educated as a teacher, and I'm eternally grateful for that academic pursuit. But in the end, it's really about our experiences. And while I continue to coach and teach phenomenal kids here at StansteadCollege, I learned a lot from these two young men who played for me in my early days of coaching. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called David and Goliath, and the book really could have been written about these two. On the right is Che Ganaway, a young Morton, Manitoba, came to us at 19 years old, unheralded, no opportunities for college advancement. We really thought we were going to have him for 2 years. He ended up having just an amazing year for us and got a scholarship opportunity to his dream school, the University of North Dakota. And while he was there, he suffered huge adversity. He suffered a year-ending concussion that cost him a year of both school and hockey. Upon his return from concussion, he captained North Dakota to a national championship. Was a Hobie Baker finalist, the award given to the Player of the Year in college hockey, and went on to sign with the Minnesota Wild before playing in Europe over the last 10 years or so. While he's been in Europe, he's gone to Maple Leaf at the Spengler Cup for Team Canada, and also in the last Olympics. His story is truly remarkable, and I got a front row seat to it for the first year, for a year in junior hockey. On the other side is Aaron Bopati, another small-town Canadian boy who played with us for about 4 years. To be honest, he was our fighter. He kept everybody else at bay out there. And year by year, Aaron worked his way to be a better player. At the year end of his 19-year-old season, maybe one of the reasons why I'm so sensitive to teenage fun today, Aaron badly burnt himself 3/4 of his body. Shannon and I were the first ones to be called. We had to go to the hospital. The smell was like nothing I've ever smelled before. To see him completely bandaged up, the only thing we could see was his eyes. We were happy that he was going to live, let alone play hockey again. After about 6 months in the Vancouver Children's Hospital, he came back and finished the year with us, and then earned an opportunity with Brown University. By his senior year, he graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree, captained his team and led his team in scoring, signed a contract with the Vancouver Canucks, and then finished his NHL career with the Washington Capitals. His story, too, is truly remarkable. I learned so much from these individuals. The biggest thing I learned is what teenagers are capable of. I've never seen such dedication, I've never seen such commitment, never seen such focus. it was unbelievable. And it just paved the way for me to get even more passionate about supporting not only my own kids, but the teenagers that I teach and coach.
So just like Dad mentioned earlier, I wasn't in a great space at all. I was up in my room, alone, doing nothing, playing video games, interacting with no one. And that's when he stepped in. And these kitchen table talks that he was saying, I'm gonna be real, they scared the crap out of me. Not because, I'm not scared of my dad. I love my dad. We have a great relationship. But I wasn't ready to take charge and be accountable of my own actions. The discussion went great. Dad was great. He asked me a couple questions of what's important, why it's important, and what are we going to do about it. It was great. And I wouldn't have made the decision if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, there's no doubt you're at a fork in the road,
Yeah.
right? If you wanted to be the player you wanted to be, you have to make a decision. So along with the education, again, like I said, being thankful, having his brother and sister suffer their own failure and rejection along the way, being educated as a teacher, I'm really thankful for all these experiences. Thankful because I think I was able to give Hayden even better direction than I was able to give his brother and sister. It's something I struggled to bring to this presentation is a little bit of theory about motivation. When I attended Gonzaga University back in 2000, 2001, I came across, I love to study motivational theory, and I came across Rodder's locus of control. And in our settings with these kids here at the school, we talk a lot about confidence, about gaining confidence, about giving confidence, about getting confidence. And I've tried a whole bunch of different ways. And in the end, I've arrived at this model as kind of my go-to. Authentic confidence is really earned. Girls that are here watching and playful, we know this. And what I've learned is it comes down to 4 key characteristics that successful teenagers seem to embrace. First, they're focused. They simplify what needs to get done. They're disciplined. Once they know what needs to get done, they do it. They take the time to do it. They're trust-willing. They seek out qualified individuals who can help them, and then they listen. They take direction. And finally, skill. They don't practice. They just play. They get better and better at honing the skills to play the game or play the instrument that they love to play.
So during this time of growth, me and my dad talked, and he made me realize to stretch myself, get out of my comfort zone. My goals are meant to stretch myself and get out of my comfort zone. I created 3 main goals: make the varsity team, become a Stansted prefect, and earn a spot on the honor roll. I cracked 2 of the 3. I'm still trying to get an 80 average, which is tough. But with that being said, I have loved school so much more than I ever had, and I loved hockey so much more than I ever had. So what did I do? Once I got in the right set of mind and rebounded, I sat down and I built a plan. I wanted to eliminate distractions. I came up with a plan and wrote down the goals that I wanted to do and the actions that I wanted to do to achieve those goals. It was different. I mean, I was temporarily motivated before, and I didn't know what to do. But at the same time, it was a weird feeling because I could actually see myself doing it as I was writing them down. Another thing that helped me focus was reading this book, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. He's a former Navy SEAL, and it really helped me embrace a tough time. My discipline. My routine created the discipline. I started gaining strength, waking up earlier, and doing more. And it actually felt good. I saw better, I was skating better, I was shooting it better, and I felt better as a whole. I started to play little games. I wouldn't play Xbox until I shot 500 pucks and worked out. And what my dad says, do homework. So I did. You know what? I felt better. And there's no judgment on Xbox. It's fun to play with the boys. But you know what? I'd rather be good at the game I love rather than being good at a video game.
So we talk a lot about the process and taking pride in the process and putting process ahead of results. It starts with a foundation of character, building, plan, and then working yourself through the process to yield the results you get. And again, none of this stuff is authored or coined by me. In this case, Brad Stevens, current coach of the Boston Celtics, while he was the coach of Butler, created the Butler Pyramid and hung in the room. And I gotta say, seeing Hayden take control of this process, it made so many other changes in his life. He just became way more confident in his interactions with his friends, his interactions with faculty, and for sure your interactions with the boys at Bugby. So as a parent, it was gratifying. It was nice to see him, I guess, grow. We're a little further along the journey this year, and now we're peeling the different layers of the onion and really trying to get into this growth zone and maybe at the top of the growth zone to create a new level. And a coach that I followed when I started coaching women's hockey was John Herdman. I followed every coach that was successfully coaching women's sports, and this is how I came along. Herdman, who is was our women's national team soccer coach, who won a bronze medal. He gave a great TED talk on how to define excellence within their team. I call it the Herdman line, just being good 80% of the time. And in his view, if we are 80% as good as we can be 80% of the time, growth is inevitable. So we introduced this concept with Hayden as well. It's great to go to the gym, it's great to go to practice, it's great to hit the books, but now we wanted him to stretch and find his other limits.
And here's the fourth aspect that my dad was talking about. It was skill. While gaining confidence and getting better at hockey, it helped me maximize my potential, not just be good at individual skill, but helping my team have success on and off the ice.
And so what is learning to fly? Well, pretty simple. Hayden's getting to be more independent. He's taking charge of being accountable for his own fulfillment, his own happiness. And for us as parents, we see the growth. When he made the varsity team, it was a proud day for us as parents. Not because he gets to wear the jacket, but because he created a process and stuck to it. And like with our other kids, the highs, the lows, the bumps, the bruises, the failures, the rejections, the point of high insecurity, those are learning moments for us as parents as well. That's when we get to dig in and try to be better. We get to look inside ourselves and see what we can do to become even better at supporting our kids. And so it's a journey that we continue to take together, that we love to take together. And hopefully, as we push forward through this pandemic, you and your parents will get together and continue growing as well. Thanks so much for having me.